Today we are doing another amazing recap. If you enjoy this, please like and subscribe. If you have any requests, please let me know in the comments. Let's begin. The year is 2020, a time when dimensions began to connect. Dimensions were connected through portals that appeared out of nowhere. These gates turned the peaceful world chaotic. Governments sent soldiers to investigate the gates, but none returned. Then, a strange, swirling energy with a glowing core appeared. Monsters emerged from the unguarded gates, causing widespread destruction. 3 monstrous creatures, a bird, a wolf-like beast, and a humanoid, emerged. The monsters were incredibly powerful, overwhelming any human weapon, including fighter jets. A massive explosion rocked the area, adding to the chaos. That's when things took a strange turn. Mysterious beings known as sponsors appeared, choosing individuals to grant them extraordinary powers. 3 figures, clad in dark clothing with glowing blue eyes, emerged, one holding a green crystal and another carrying an axe. And so, the hunters were born, empowered to face the new threats. One of these hunters, wielding a sword, engaged in battle with a green-skinned, red-haired creature. The sponsors provided their chosen hunters with enhanced stats and healing abilities. One hunter, with brown hair, red eyes, and a beard, was granted the skill Single Strike by his sponsor, radiating power and confidence. He unleashed a powerful move, his stance radiating strength and determination. The sponsors further empowered those hunters who demonstrated exceptional skill and prowess. One hunter focused his energy, his fist glowing with power. Another hunter, utilizing the Single Strike skill, moved with incredible speed through the building. A hunter was propelled forward by a surge of light, a powerful force seemingly beyond his control. A monstrous creature, with glowing red eyes and sharp teeth, was forcefully thrown back by an unseen power, its defeat imminent. A hunter named Demon King appeared, a fearsome figure commanding an army of creatures and wielding the power of fire. He stood tall, a skeletal beast with glowing red eyes and sharp teeth, and a smaller, frightened creature looked up at him. Another hunter, cloaked in darkness, brandished a flaming sword, their presence filled with power. A cloaked figure, surrounded by fire, prepared to unleash a devastating power. They revealed red eyes and a playful smile, their power and amusement evident. 7 figures stood in a circle around one, united against a fiery backdrop. The self-proclaimed gods established Eden, a realm of magic and power, signified by a large, purple gemstone. They called the hunters the new humans, and those who were not chosen became slaves. A menacing figure with red eyes and a goatee smiled. A hunter, cloaked and mysterious, held a small blue globe, showing the world now under their control. A peaceful, wooded area with a small playground offered a moment of tranquility. A hunter dashed through the forest, urgency in every stride. He panted, exhausted from the intense chase, his breath heavy. He continued to pant, his body weary and legs aching from the exertion. One hunter collapsed onto a tree branch, while another, surprised, questioned if he was already finished. He leaned against the tree, defeated and admitting he could run no further. A hunter, with a smug expression and scars, questioned if the other would become a true hunter at this pace. Another hunter, strong and confident, rested while contemplating the challenge. He stood nearby, as another hunter, questioned his early struggles compared to his current sponsor-given abilities, climbed a tree with surprising agility. He scowled, finding the situation unfair. The bald hunter reminded him that life was unfair, highlighting the difference in their status as hunters. A gloved hand unleashed a powerful burst of blue and white light. The bald hunter smirked, confidently holding a metal pole, ready for whatever came next. The other hunter grabbed something, surprised and curious if it was an inventory all hunters had access to. The bald hunter smiled, reassuring him that he too would receive it upon becoming a hunter. A man with gray hair revealed that his parents were killed by hunters, his expression filled with anger and sorrow. He discovered a book, a memento from his parents, detailing the hunter's cruelties, and vowed to change things. A hunter, eyes fixed on the sky, plotted his revenge, fueled by a determined spirit. Perhaps Eden was right, as a tranquil, sunny day filled the sky with hope. A hunter was slapped, startled by the unexpected aggression, as he was told not to be ridiculous. The bald hunter reassured him, expressing confidence that he would become a hunter. A hunter smiled with confidence and determination. He was questioned about the book, a memento of his parents, and confirmed it was the autobiography of Demon King, a forgotten hero. He held the book, a sly look in his eyes, intrigued by its contents. He squeezed the book, frustrated but determined to make the world a better place. A woman with blonde hair, radiating a mysterious aura, stood in the forest as others walked away. With a determined look, she declared, "I found you." His hands glowed with purple energy, showcasing his immense power. He looked on in surprise, questioning what the strange energy was. Mana. Surrounded by bright pink, purple, and blue energy, the girl moved with incredible speed, a powerful force. A powerful surge of pink energy erupted, filling the space. The hunter exclaimed, "Damn it," in shock as he witnessed the fallen figure of another, bathed in purple light. In a swift, intense moment, a wave of blue energy surged through the scene as one hunter stood over the other. He fell, arms outstretched, landing heavily on the other hunter. The hunter crashed to the ground with a thud, pain and shock evident on his face. A powerful explosion erupted, with a girl in a black dress floating serenely above the chaos. The girl's eyes widened in shock as another powerful surge of energy erupted around her. A hunter stared in disbelief, wondering what had just transpired. A beam of purple light appeared, revealing a figure shrouded in energy, leaving the hunter stunned. The blonde woman's expression turned serious, filled with worry. The hunter gasped, shocked and worried. "A hunter?" A pink glowing eye pierced through the purple light, radiating power and menace. A commanding voice demanded, "Bow down." He knelt in shock and fear, overwhelmed by the sudden command. His eyes glowed pink, reflecting the overwhelming terror he felt. He panicked, unable to control his body, fear gripping him. Two powerful beams of blue light leapt through the air. A man with orange hair looked anxiously towards a woman with blonde hair, surrounded by swirling purple energy, as a dark blue force surged upwards. A man in a suit moved with incredible speed, surrounded by blue energy. The blonde woman, surrounded by a powerful aura, was greeted as the ruler of Eden. The impact of an event left two men stunned, their world momentarily shaken. He gasped, eyes wide with shock and fear, "Athena?" He lay on the ground, stunned to learn that she was one of Eden's top executives. Athena, with a powerful gaze and piercing orange eyes, stared ahead with unwavering confidence. Athena stood tall, exuding power and confidence in her attire. The question of her presence lingered. One of the 12 founders of Eden, what was she doing here? The story continued. The anticipation built as the ruler of Eden was once again greeted. Athena, radiating power with purple and white energy, stood amidst a beige expanse. Two men in black suits faced each other in a tense standoff, a sense of danger filling the air. They slid backward quickly, a powerful force propelling them away, as they called out to Lady Athena. A hunter cried out in pain and confusion, his body racked with energy, questioning Athena's involvement. His despair deepened as he realized the immense power and fear associated with Eden's top executives. Athena, with piercing pink eyes, stood surrounded by a magical and dangerous aura. Athena, powerful and mysterious, stood amidst swirling pink and purple energy, her confidence unwavering. The question lingered. What was one of Eden's founders doing here? Athena, with a determined expression and piercing pink eyes, radiated power and mystery, surrounded by a magical aura. Two powerful figures, ready for action, responded to Athena's command with intensity. A woman with pink hair moved swiftly through the forest, surrounded by streaks of light. She stood poised and ready, bathed in a radiant glow, her energy palpable. Athena, with a furious expression and a bright pink glow, declared that she had finally caught her target. She turned, her energy intensifying, a powerful force ready to be unleashed. A figure shrouded in a pink glow emerged, causing confusion, as it was noted that he didn't possess any mana. He felt a sharp thump, realizing the autobiography of the Demon King was hidden within his jacket. He worried that the secrets of the 12 heroes, kept hidden from the world, might be revealed. Athena approached with disdain, dismissing the distressed man as a mere slave, her presence powerful and intimidating. He anxiously wondered if Athena had left, fear and confusion clouding his mind. He was relieved to be safe, his body raised in a moment of shock and gratitude. A figure shrouded in purple light, radiating a menacing aura, warned, "Don't you dare." Fear gripped the man as he witnessed the terrifying purple energy surrounding another figure. A figure with blonde hair and a glowing pink eye nearly missed something significant, a sense of urgency filling the air. A woman with blonde hair and a glowing red eye looked down, a sense of mystery enveloping her. A shrouded figure felt his heart racing and breath shortening, a sense of unease washing over him. A figure with blonde hair and a glowing pink eye questioned what was being hidden. He trembled with fear, a purple aura emanating from his body, overwhelmed by terror. He clutched the book, radiating purple energy, fearing his life if he gave it to her. He held the book, his anxiety rising as he was reminded. It's a book, his body tensed and ready. The story of the true hero, the Demon King, was about to unfold. A terrifying skeletal dragon, eyes blazing with rage, loomed over a smaller, vulnerable figure. A figure cloaked in flames and sparkles stood with their back turned, protecting a secret that Eden desperately wanted to conceal. A hand, radiating purple energy, reached for a mysterious brown book, its knowledge waiting to be revealed. Overwhelmed with grief, he realized the impending doom facing everyone he knew. His fear intensified as he worried that they might all be destroyed. He was paralyzed by fear, understanding Eden's ruthless nature and knowing he couldn't hand over the book. His eye glistened with fear, his worry palpable in the purple aura. Flames danced and flickered, a surge of heat and energy filling the space. The book, surrounded by flames, pulsed with power, a beacon of knowledge amidst the chaos. Athena unleashed a powerful surge of red and purple energy, her determination evident. A hand, adorned in red, reached towards the floating book, exclaiming in victory, "Haha! I finally found it." Athena's eyes widened, a menacing pink glow surrounding her, anticipation and excitement building. The autobiography of the Demon King was discovered, shrouded in mystery and anticipation. Athena, surrounded by pink light, questioned the man's possession of the book with suspicion. A mysterious, glowing pink energy filled the space, a sense of suspense hanging in the air. Athena's eye blazed with pink energy, unleashing a powerful shockwave. A man knelt in fear as another charged towards him, a wall of pink light behind them, tension building. A flash of bright light and energy erupted, a sense of dynamic movement filling the scene. Chaos erupted, a whirlwind of pink and yellow light amidst a light brown expanse. A hand, bathed in yellow light, reached towards the book, anticipation building. Overcome with despair, he cried out, "Sunku!" tears streaming down his face. He was urged not to cry, reminded of his strength and masculinity. A comforting figure, a muscular man with a warm smile, held a book, offering a sense of solace. A question lingered in the air, as Sunku's identity was questioned, his hidden emotions evident. He wept, his sorrow evident, his gaze fixed on the ground. The bearded man, caught off guard, apologized for the lack of explanation, acknowledging the unexpected arrival of their pursuers. With determination, he reached for the book, a bright light illuminating his path forward. He was surprised to be reminded of his past ambition to change the world, and offered support in achieving it. The bearded man, wielding a glowing sword, fought against the hunters who claimed godhood and oppressed humanity. The harsh reality of powerlessness was laid bare, a chilling reminder of the vulnerability of those without strength, urging a change to a more equal world. Ready for battle, he stood before a crumbling wall, his glowing blue sword poised, determined to protect others. Surrounded by a calming blue aura, he was asked to pledge his newfound power to change the world. With unwavering resolve, he stood amidst a blue light, his determination palpable, ready to face the challenges ahead. A swirling pink aura filled the darkness, a mysterious energy swirling into existence. A wave of pink energy surged forward, a powerful force surging through the light blue sky. Urgency filled the air as a warning echoed, "Athena's coming. We don't have time. Make your decision now." A hand clenched tight with anticipation. He looked up in surprise, his yellow eyes widening in the midst of the chaos. With resolute determination, he declared, "Yes." His red eye glowed intensely, a powerful force ready to be unleashed. Surrounded by a yellow glow, he declared his resolve, "I would change the world." A figure with a deceptive smile and mischievous glint in his eyes looked upward, hinting at a hidden plan. A sense of accomplishment filled the air, a feeling of good resonating through the pink space. A blinding yellow light streaked across the scene, a burst of speed and excitement. Two figures clashed in a fierce battle, their auras glowing as they fought with sword and shield. With a powerful surge of energy, he held both a sword and a book, ready to unleash a devastating force. Surrounded by a bright yellow glow, he levitated in the air, a display of power and excitement. A young man, eyes wide with shock and fear, stared in disbelief, his face hidden behind a white mask. A sly smile played on the bearded man's lips, his yellow eyes gleaming with mystery as he hinted, "If you meet me over there." Red squares danced within a bright yellow glow, a chaotic and exhilarating display of energy. A question hung in the air, a sense of mystery and confusion as Sunku's actions were questioned. Surrounded by a radiant light, he stood ready, golden sword glowing, a powerful force about to be unleashed. Standing on a glowing platform, surrounded by golden light, he moved with speed and excitement. Powerful energy rings pulsed with golden and white light, a display of raw power. A figure with long white hair, shrouded in golden light, stood tall, radiating power and excitement, a number 5 above his head. A young man, eyes narrowed with determination, stood amidst golden light, a sense of power surrounding him. A brilliant white light erupted, radiating outward with intense power and excitement. A commitment was made, a promise whispered, "I will honor the contract." A swift movement filled the orange-hued space, a sense of speed and energy rushing through the scene. A vast, mysterious landscape stretched out, filled with jagged rocks and a bright light in the pale yellow sky. Surrounded by a radiant yellow glow, he moved with speed and excitement. A surge of energy erupted from him, leaving him startled and bracing for an unknown event. He landed with a thud, surprised and confused by the sudden fall. Worry etched his features as he noticed the wounds upon himself, concern clouding his mind. He felt a strange change within himself, a blue glow emanating from his hand, leaving him confused. The power coursing through his arm, coupled with the memory of a sponsor's promise, created a sense of unease. Uncertainty filled his mind as he questioned his actions, a serious expression on his face. Confusion clouded his mind as he wondered if he had become a hunter and where he was. He stood with a serious expression, his thoughts filled with gravity. An ethereal landscape of jagged mountains and swirling mist unfolded before him, a place that felt both strange and otherworldly. A sense of wonder washed over him as he felt a connection between the strange landscape and the mana flowing within him. Uncertainty gripped him as he questioned his location, wondering if he had entered a gate. A creature's foot, with sharp claws and a white bandage, stepped into view, adding to the mystery and suspense of the unknown environment. He was startled, his eyes widening in shock as he heard footsteps. He stealthily peeked from behind a rock, throwing something into the ominous water, creating a ripple of energy. Suspicion and fear gripped him, prompting him to seek cover. He was shocked and disbelieving. A goblin? The goblin, with sharp claws and a serious expression, glanced around, its presence a source of fear. He was certain, that makes it sure. I'm inside a gate dungeon. This comic, webtoon is protected by copyright law and any unauthorized use is prohibited. Standing in the mysterious darkness, he realized a connection between the area and the mana flowing within him. He was lost in a confusing and mysterious world, questioning his location. A foot, stitched and bandaged, took a step forward, signifying progression through this unknown world. A sense of danger and tension filled the air as he heard the distinct sound of footsteps. His eyes widened in worry, his concern evident in the sweat beading on his brow. His eye widened in fear and surprise, a sense of unease washing over him. The threat was confirmed. A goblin? He exclaimed, a sense of danger permeating the air. A menacing goblin, armed with a large sword, stood poised, a sense of threat radiating from its stance. He realized with certainty that he was trapped within a gate dungeon. His eyes widened with worry, a bead of sweat rolling down his cheek. The goblin, its red eyes gleaming, sniffed the air with a menacing grin, its sharp teeth bared. Goblins, known for their keen senses and pack hunting instincts, posed a serious threat to novice adventurers. He watched with fear as an orc, cloaked in a purple blur, walked away, hoping to remain undetected. The orc's angry face, with sharp teeth and glowing red eyes, radiated danger. The orc trudged past, his presence a source of fear, forcing the hidden man to lament his predicament. Urgency filled him as he reached for something on the ground, his movements tense and swift. He looked troubled, unsure if his plan would succeed, desperation weighing on his mind. He gulped, nervousness evident in his worried expression. A rock was tossed, propelled through the air with a white aura. The orc ran, alert and searching, his movements quick and purposeful. The orc snarled, its red eyes burning with anger. A hand gripped the hilt of a sword with fierce determination, ready to strike. A powerful force unleashed a blur of red energy, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. A powerful blow struck the creature, sending it reeling in pain, leaving the scene chaotic and uncertain. He gasped in surprise, his eyes widening, concern etched on his face. He reached back, a sense of suspense filling the air, as shadowy figures, each with a tail, emerged from the mist. He moved with speed and intensity, his sword drawn, ready for action. He was astonished by his newfound strength, a wave of shock washing over him. He contemplated his next move, realizing his initial plan had been thwarted by his unexpected power. He looked up, a determined expression on his face, questioning his newfound status as a hunter. A warning echoed, "The sky of apocalypse is keeping his eyes on you," a sense of danger looming. His eyes widened in shock and fear as he realized the significance of the name, Sky of Apocalypse. That's the Demon Kings. The goblin charged forward, sword raised, its attack swift and fierce. Two goblins, their menacing presence amplified, rushed towards their unseen target. He looked on in shock and fear as the goblins advanced. He was overwhelmed, the world blurring around him as the goblins attacked. The goblin stood at the forefront of his horde, ready for battle, a fierce warrior amidst his comrades. Sparks flew as the goblin clashed with his unseen opponent, his aggression palpable. He was stunned, his face etched with concern and worry. He looked on in terror, overwhelmed by the sheer number of goblins, realizing the leader, a chieftain, was among them. A menacing goblin, with long red hair and a sinister grin, exuded power and danger. He looked down in despair, his face filled with sadness, as he declared, "It's over." He staggered forward, his balance precarious, the harsh terrain making his journey difficult. He stood, a newly minted hunter, his sword raised in a daze, in the aftermath of an intense struggle. He looked down in defeat, realizing he was no match for his opponent. A comforting voice, belonging to a bearded man, offered encouragement, reminding him of his strength. The man, holding a blue object, acknowledged his efforts, hinting at a larger plan to change the world. The man with the glowing blue sword stood before him, a powerful figure, demanding a pledge to use the power for change. His eyes widened in shock, his right eye glowing red, overwhelmed by the power surrounding him. He gaped in surprise, unable to comprehend the unfolding events. Fueled by a surge of power, he declared, "Yeah, I can't die like this." His eyes glowing white, ready to fight. His defiance echoed, "Not before I change this wretched world." Surrounded by a swirling blue energy, he stood defiant, knowing the sky of apocalypse was watching. A man with piercing blue eyes and a cold smirk, surrounded by swirling blue energy, exuded danger and a sense of impending action. He was determined to seize the moment, realizing, "I won't get another chance like this." A powerful force, the sky of apocalypse, acknowledged his courage with a bold and dramatic message. He dashed forward, a surge of blue energy propelling him with immense power. A figure clad in black and gold armor stood tall, radiating an aura of power and strength. Two figures, engulfed in swirling energy, moved with speed and determination, their serious expressions revealing their resolve. He slashed through the air, a blur of blue energy, knocking the green-skinned figure off balance. He stood poised, eyes glowing blue, ready to unleash another powerful attack. A masked figure, targeted by a monstrous creature, was urged to act swiftly, as their profits were at stake. He leapt forward, his foot leaving a trail of light in its wake. The creature raised its spiked club, ready to strike, a sense of impending danger looming. The man, eyes glowing blue, stood poised, sword in hand, facing the creature, ready for battle. He slashed with his sword, a blur of blue energy surrounding him as he moved with incredible speed. His fist connected with the creature in a powerful blow, a thwack echoing through the air. He looked down, focusing intently, a sense of determination in his blue eyes. His face contorted in rage, his eyes burning with fierce determination. He swung his sword with incredible force, a blur of blue energy as he attacked the creature. He leveled up, a sense of achievement and excitement filling the air. A tranquil autumn scene unfolded, leaves falling peacefully amidst the trees and rocks. A flurry of action erupted, leaves swirling as the fight intensified. He stood ready, his stick held firmly, a determined look in his eyes, ready to face the challenge. He praised the man's abilities, acknowledging his genius despite his current status. He contemplated the situation, his thoughts shrouded in mystery. The monster, with its menacing glare, was notified of its level increase, adding to the tension and excitement. A cloaked figure, with menacing red eyes, stood in the darkness, a sword hidden, ready to strike. He stood victorious, sword in hand, surrounded by fallen enemies in the cavern, his breath heavy with exertion. Exhaustion and pain etched his face as he stood in the dark cave, his breaths heavy. He stood, a formidable warrior, his sword glowing with blue energy, radiating power and strength. His blue eye glowed, a surge of energy swirling around him as he prepared to unleash his magic. He swung his weapon with force, a clash of purple and pink energy, a powerful display of magic. He moved with incredible speed, blurring into a streak of motion. He swung his sword with precision and force, his eyes fixed on his target. His blue eyes blazed with intensity, his anger and determination palpable, as he prepared to unleash his magic. The monster, caught off guard, looked surprised and angry. "Darn it. So you're..." The monster roared, a menacing sound echoing through the air, ready for a fierce attack. The skull, its expression grim, pondered the requirements, realizing the challenge ahead. The monster, with its sharp teeth and menacing glare, exuded a sense of primal danger. The conversation continued, a daunting task laid out, to hunt a goblin chieftain alone. He gritted his teeth, sweat beading on his brow, determined to overcome the challenge before him. His blue eye glowed with power and intensity, reflecting his unwavering resolve. His hand clenched tightly around the wooden pole, a testament to his determination and strength. He stood firm, a blue aura surrounding him, ready to give his all. "Fine, I'm putting everything I have on the line right here." He stood, confident and powerful, a blue aura surrounding him, ready for battle. The sky of apocalypse bestowed upon him the power over fire, a dramatic and intense display of power. He was surprised to learn that the spear he wielded, his favorite weapon, was once used by the Demon King. He stood, his eyes blazing with determination, his fist clenched tight. He contemplated his newfound power. "I was even given a power now." The spear, ablaze with fiery energy, radiated a sense of power and danger. He pressed forward, his foot poised to strike, anticipation building. The flames licked at the metal gate, the scene tense and dangerous. A powerful explosion erupted, a blinding bam, shaking the ground. He plunged headfirst, his staff held tight, the speed and danger of the fall evident. He fell, his golden spear pointed downwards, a blur of light marking his rapid descent. The creature plummeted into the abyss, its fall a testament to the overwhelming power of the unknown. The creature, engulfed in flames, prepared to unleash a powerful attack, its fiery orb gathering energy. He stood, eyes glowing white, his staff held high, ready to unleash his power. He wielded the staff, its orange glow illuminating the scene, radiating intense energy. A blinding burst of golden energy erupted, a chaotic clash of power amidst a haze of darkness. He stood poised, spear glowing, his stance tense with anticipation, ready to strike. A message of achievement echoed, "You've leveled up," a sense of excitement and anticipation filling the air. His hand, powerful and unrelenting, squeezed with a force that cracked the surface, AFSSSS echoing through the air. A chaotic scene unfolded, fragments of destruction scattered across the landscape. His eyes blazed with determination, sweat beading on his brow, as he pushed himself to the limit. He stood, a drop of sweat trickling down his face, his mind focused on the challenge ahead. He wobbled, exhaustion and pain evident in his stance, a glowing injury marking his struggle. He pushed forward, his energy depleted, determination driving him onward. He lay defeated, his body limp, blood staining the purple ground. A discovery was made, a question arose. There are goblin corpses. He stood amidst the carnage, bewildered by the sight of slain goblins, wondering who had orchestrated such a massacre. The chieftain's presence was confirmed, a shocking revelation that filled them with fear. Hope flickered as they discovered a survivor, a sense of relief washing over them. He lay unconscious, his body battered, a grim reminder of the bottle's toll. A chilling warning echoed, "The sky of apocalypse is keeping his eyes on you. a sense of dread and anxiety filling the air. This comic webtoon is protected by copyright law. Any unauthorized use is prohibited. He looked down with apprehension, fear and uncertainty clouding his mind. He wobbled, his body aching, but his spirit unbroken. He lay defeated, his energy spent, a sense of despair washing over him. A discovery was made: there are goblin corpses. A sense of surprise and intrigue filling the air. Two warriors stood amidst the fallen goblins, their victory evident in the scene of carnage. He was shocked and surprised to discover the chieftain's presence. He stood amidst the dust and smoke, his expression filled with worry as they found a survivor. He lay defeated, his head bowed, a sense of sadness and loss weighing on him. A towering office building, a symbol of normalcy and routine, stood against the backdrop of the city. The heart rate monitor beeped, displaying vital signs, creating a sense of uncertainty and concern. A mysterious healing potion, labeled and ready for use, hinted at an intriguing possibility. He lay vulnerable in the hospital bed, his body weak, his eyes closed in a moment of peace. He blinked, surprise and fear evident in his eyes, as a sense of tension filled the air. He was shocked to find himself in a hospital. He lay in the hospital bed, his chest wired with monitors, a sense of urgency filling him. A woman with a blindfold, her single visible eye filled with fear, recounted her encounter with Athena. He recounted his bewildering experience, finding himself in a dungeon after being stabbed by Sunku. He was stabbed, his eyes wide with shock, as the attacker unleashed a violent assault. A menacing goblin, armed with a spiked mace, radiated aggression and danger. He stood, eyes blazing with power, ready to unleash his fury. He stood resolute, his golden staff held firmly, determined to overcome the challenges ahead. He pondered the events, questioning who might have saved him, his curiosity piqued. He lay helpless, his foot exposed, a sense of vulnerability in the quiet of the bedroom. She looked at him with concern. "Oh, you can't move yet," urging him to slide over. She stood by his bedside, clipboard in hand, inquiring with care, "Dizzy?" The mystery deepened as he was informed that hunters from the League Guild had rescued him. He looked on with concern, his curiosity piqued. He was reassured that his injuries were severe but that he was fortunate to be alive. She explained the situation, her gesture adding emphasis to her words. She stood by his bedside, clipboard in hand, concern evident in her voice as she said, "Kya." He looked down, surprise evident on his face, his curiosity piqued. He looked down, confused and curious, asking, "Excuse me?" She looked at him with a questioning expression, her confusion evident. She stood before him, a question on her lips. "Could you tell me what year this is?" She reassured him, "You must be still dizzy from the shock. Your memories will come back soon." A smile lit up her face, a sense of joy radiating from her. He was shocked to hear, "Is 2022. In the year 2020, the first gate appeared, a glowing sphere of blue energy, a moment of wonder and awe. Two men, their expressions serious, observed the swirling blue sphere, a sense of mystery and excitement in the air. The year 2022 brought a sinister presence, 5 figures shrouded in blue mist, their red eyes glowing ominously. The era of heroes began to emerge, a sense of excitement and anticipation filling the air. He looked on with fear, his heart pounding, unsure of what lay ahead. The era of heroes dawned, a time of great change and possibility. He stood, a small figure against the imposing presence of the larger man, a sense of fear and intimidation filling the air. A heart rate monitor beeped, a stable but low reading, a sense of urgency in the air. He was surprised to learn about the changes in the world, his confusion evident. He spoke with determination, explaining the shift in the world of hunters. He struggled, his grip tightening on the red tube, a sense of pain and frustration evident. An IV bag hung precariously, a flatline monitor beeping urgently, a sense of concern filling the air. She gasped in shock, "Yes, sir," her eyes wide with fear. He stood tall, his confidence restored, his dizziness gone, ready to step forward. They stepped onto the patio, their casual conversation continuing. He looked around, confused, asking for directions, while a woman nearby expressed her surprise at his height. He grabbed the handle with urgency, his grip firm, eager to enter. His blue eyes, wide and focused, revealed his alertness and determination. He stared in disbelief, questioning his own identity, a sense of confusion washing over him. His physique, strong and toned, was a testament to his physical prowess. He admired his muscular legs, a sign of his newfound strength, acknowledging his impressive height. He looked down, a sense of mystery surrounding him, wishing to see his old face. He contemplated his situation, his eyes fixed, his thoughts focused. He looked over his shoulder, a worried expression on his face, calling out, "Are you there?" Two men engaged in a serious conversation, their expressions grave. He introduced himself, tapping his business card on the table. "I'm Soo-Young Kim, from the KHA." He smiled warmly, explaining that he had rescued him from a gate. He sat calmly, his hands clasped, a sense of tranquility in his posture. He contemplated the situation, a thoughtful expression on his face, realizing the nurse had informed the man. He looked on with a blank expression, uncertainty evident in his query. "Can you tell me what things you do remember?" A list of questions was presented, seeking information about his past. The mystery surrounding his identity deepened as the hospital and the KHA searched for his past. They stood in a beige room, a sense of intrigue and secrecy surrounding them, as the man's lack of identity was confirmed. A sense of emptiness and isolation pervaded the room, as his lack of identity was confirmed. He stood confident, his expression serious, certain that his origins were beyond their reach. He contemplated his situation, a sense of concern evident in his frown. He revealed his age, a piece of his identity emerging. He looked away, a smug expression on his face, as he revealed, "And my name." His eyes narrowed, a sense of determination and urgency in his voice as he recalled, "Somehow, the Demon King's name popped into my head. Is Jun Kyung Lee." He stood shrouded in shadows, his true identity shrouded in mystery. Two figures, one with a sly grin, the other shrouded in shadows, met in a moment of intrigue and suspense. He stood, his expression neutral, a sense of mystery surrounding him. He pondered the situation, a worried expression on his face. This is troublesome." He was interrupted by a thought, then did. He looked on, a sense of tension and anticipation in the air, as the question hung in the air, "You?" He leaned down, his question a mixture of curiosity and concern. "Sense or feel anything in the gate?" His eyes widened in shock and surprise, his gaze fixed on something unseen. His blue eyes, blazing with intensity, radiated power and determination. His jaw tightened, a thoughtful expression on his face, as he recalled the sponsor's promise. He clenched his hands tightly, a realization dawning upon him. He smiled, his question laced with suspicion. "Do you remember anything about hunters?" He stood, his expression grave, as the other man stared in fear. His eyes narrowed, anticipation building, as he prepared for what was to come. He spoke with authority, "But the KHA will send more people too." He looked down, confused and bewildered. "I know this is all very confusing." But a realization dawned upon him. "But you have become." He moved swiftly, his arm extended, a sense of action filling the air. He looked down, his face resolute, a sense of determination in his expression. A sense of hope filled the air as he looked towards the Mingak Hospital Medical Center. He watched as the man in the suit walked away, his concern evident. "I'm just worried about the prophet." He spoke with conviction, his eyes filled with concern. "He's a good guy." His eyes widened in surprise as a status window appeared before him. He was astonished to discover a powerful ability, a gift from the Demon King. He pondered the reasons behind the hero's apprehension. The truth was revealed. The Demon King's ability to grow stronger than anyone else, a source of fear for Eden. He looked down, his single open eye holding a mysterious gaze. The truth was unveiled. The Demon King wasn't a hunter, a mysterious detail adding to the intrigue. The status window revealed his name, level, characteristics, and title. Jun Lee, a level 9 player with the title Goblin. He contemplated this new information, player, realizing he was a player. A key difference was highlighted. Unlike hunters who relied on sponsors, the Demon King possessed the ability to grow stronger on his own. He stood, shrouded in mystery, his identity veiled by his long hair. He looked determined, his right eye glowing red, a powerful aura surrounding him. The name Demon King resonated with power and mystery, surrounded by a purple aura. He stood, his identity hidden, a sense of mystery and suspense surrounding him. He looked off-screen, a determined expression on his face, ready for action. This comic, webtoon is protected under copyright law. Any unauthorized use is prohibited. Unlike hunters reliant on sponsors, he had the power to grow stronger on his own. He stood, shrouded in mystery, a lone figure in a world of uncertainty. He stood, a red eye glowing with power, his smirk a sign of his determination. A figure, cloaked in darkness, his identity hidden behind a mask, stood in the shadows, a powerful presence. A dramatic reveal was imminent, anticipation building as the words appeared, "And now I am." A mysterious figure emerged, his blue-purple hair glowing, his identity shrouded in secrecy. He stood, bathed in an ethereal light, a look of concern and anxiety etched on his face. A thought bubble appeared, the player. A sense of mystery and tension filling the air. A familiar scene. The Manga Hospital Medical Center, a symbol of normalcy and routine. She exclaimed in surprise and joy, "Mr. Junkying, congratulations on becoming a hunter." He looked down, a sense of uncertainty washing over him, as he expressed his gratitude but wondered about the implications. He stood, indifferent to the conversation, a sense of calm washing over him. She exclaimed, "Of course. It's better than winning the lottery." Her excitement palpable. Even F-rank hunters can make more money than us civilians can even imagine. She clenched her fist, a confident smile on her face. There are a lot more things that a hunter can do. He wielded his glowing hammer, his determination evident, exploring the possibilities of a magic-infused blacksmith. He carefully shaped the glowing metal, his skill evident, a testament to his craft. He smiled confidently, a sense of purpose and determination radiating from him. He listened intently, a neutral expression on his face, acknowledging the information. He smiled, "Yeah, that sure sounds great," his confidence evident. He looked down in shock and concern, his shoulders slumped, as if a realization had hit him. A shopping bag was offered, a sense of anticipation hanging in the air. She smiled warmly, offering congratulations, her happiness evident. The bustling city life unfolded, cars honking and moving through the intersection. A group of people, some in uniform, some in casual clothing, walked through the city, their conversations muffled. The sun shone brightly on the city, a clear blue sky and a modern building casting a hopeful glow. He stood amidst the bustling city, a sense of calmness and confidence radiating from him. He looked back, a sense of longing and sadness in his eyes. "I wasn't even allowed set foot in here back in my time." He smiled, taking in the vibrant atmosphere. It looked so peaceful and energetic. He waited expectantly, his surprise evident as the man approached. "I've been waiting." He stepped forward, his arrival anticipated. He looked determined, ready to move forward. "Let's go to the KHA." He offered a solution, his expression serious. "I'm sure you don't have a place to stay, given your situation." He looked downcast, his face etched with sadness and weariness. He smiled, his expression friendly and calm, a sense of excitement in his eyes. The news arrived, also, "Congratulations. Your tests showed that you were a C-rank hunter." The woman looked down, a sense of disappointment and shame in her expression. He grinned mischievously, his confidence and slyness evident. He explained that he had started as a C-rank hunter, urging him to register. "Here, get in. I'll explain the rest of things after you're registered." Excitement filled the air as he gestured towards the open car door, waiting for the man to join him. A towering building, the Hunter Association, stood as a symbol of power and organization. He waited impatiently as she worked, the tension building. His hunter identification card was presented, Hunter Rank C. Junkying Lee, a formal acknowledgement of his new status. The city, bathed in the warm glow of sunset, offered a moment of peace and tranquility. He pointed to the door. "Your registration is done, and this is the house you'll be using." The man stood, his thoughts racing, as he contemplated his new beginning. A ding sound echoed through the room, catching his attention, a sense of anticipation in the air. His eyes widened in shock and surprise. "Wow," a sense of disbelief washing over him. A warm and inviting living room, bathed in a golden glow, offered a sense of comfort and peace. A quiet scene unfolded, a television screen glowing against a white wall, a sense of calm emanating from the room. A single tear glistened on his cheek, his sadness evident, a reflection of his inner turmoil. He asked, a smile on his face, "Do you like it? Does the interior look too old?" A sense of satisfaction radiating from both men. He contemplated his new life, a sense of joy and fulfillment washing over him. Today is a really special day. Not only did I finally get the chance I've been looking for, I also became a hunter. He looked down, a sense of longing and sadness in his eyes. He paused, a thought crossing his mind. First house. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. He looked up, intrigued, his curiosity piqued. There's someone who wants to meet you. He flinched in surprise. Me? His confusion evident. He pondered, his eyes wide with curiosity. Who could it be? He looked concerned, a drop of sweat on his cheek, his secret weighing heavily on his mind. No one would know I'm from the future. He explained, his surprise evident. It's the guild master of the lead guild. The ones who saved you. You were always, he began, a sense of uncertainty filling the air. The lead guild? He questioned, a sense of confusion and curiosity evident. The man reassured him, he seems to be interested in you. You can turn him down if you want to. He was stunned to hear, the lead guild. The rising stars of the industry. The revelation sparked a sense of intrigue. He stood beside him, an introduction taking place. This is Junkying Lee. The cafe's exterior provided a backdrop for this meeting. He looked on in surprise as he was introduced to the guild master. The guild master smiled, a confident and suspicious air about him. He stood proud and confident. Allow me to introduce myself. He smiled playfully. You're pretty tall. A sense of friendly banter in the air. He looked down, a sense of sadness and defeat evident. I knew it. He looked down thoughtfully, his concerns evident in his expression. He questioned, a hint of suspicion in his voice. Where are you staring at? He smiled, a sense of calmness washing over him. He looked on in shock, a sense of fear creeping in. I almost made a mistake from the surprise. He was surprised to see the person who cared for him, wondering if they had met before. He stood, radiating a sense of peace and tranquility. He acknowledged the connection. You seem familiar. Recalling, taught me the basics of becoming a hunter. He stood, doubt and suspicion evident in his expression. He bowed in gratitude. Saved me after I came back to the past. Thank you for saving my life. He fell, his face contorted in surprise, a sense of fear gripping him. He smiled. What a polite man, a sense of calmness washing over him. He stood, his figure shrouded in mystery, the light from the doorway illuminating his silhouette. He looked hopeful, a sense of wonder filling his eyes, the forgotten hero who was known to be dead. He stood, a figure of power and determination, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. He stood, a sense of joy and wonder filling him. I finally met you again, the words echoing in his thoughts. A bright and open space, filled with light and possibility. A building stood tall against a purple sky, a sense of peace and tranquility in the urban landscape. A hand reached out, a sense of anticipation in the air, towards something unseen. He reached towards the blue glow, a sense of calmness filling the room. He lay tense, his fist clenched tight, ready to face whatever came next. He looked up, disbelief etched on his face. This is real, his confusion evident. He looked down at his body, concern and confusion clouding his mind. But what happened to my body? He looked up, confusion and surprise etched on his face, as he pondered his situation. He examined his body, a sense of confusion and determination in his voice. It looks so different, but all the moles I had were all in the same spots. This means it's still my body. A status window appeared. Name: Junkying Lee. Level: 9. Characteristic: Player. Title: Goblin Slaughterer. A sense of power and achievement evident. His stats were revealed. STR 31, Dex 34, STA 28, Mana 38. Power: Fire Domination LV2, a testament to his power. His identity was unveiled. Player: The Forgotten Hero, the strongest and the most different hunter, the Demon King. He stood, ready for battle, his weapon at the ready, facing the approaching skeleton. He pondered the mystery of his newfound abilities, wondering about the connection to the Demon King. He stood, his red eyes glowing ominously, a menacing figure shrouded in darkness. The question loomed, a sense of mystery and foreboding filling the air. Then what happens to the Demon King in this era? He looked unsure. I don't know, his confusion evident. There's too little information to figure out anything. He lay, a sense of sadness and exhaustion filling the room, characteristic that anyone would kill for. His eyes glowed blue, a sense of surprise and excitement evident. I now have the power. A sense of hope and excitement filled the air, the power to change the world. He looked exhausted and weary, a sense of weariness evident in his expression. Fu. They stood amidst the bustling city, a sense of peace and calm surrounding them. He sat in the classroom, a quiet stillness surrounding him. He lay exhausted, his muscles aching, a sense of weariness evident. He stood in the doorway, his expression serious, a sense of suspicion in the air. He walked with a mysterious air, his scar a stark reminder of a past filled with intrigue. He stood, a figure of authority. I'm Sangsu Bei, and I'll be in charge of your tutorial. He looked shocked and surprised. What? The B-rank hunter, Sangsu Bei? He's one of the key members of the KHA. Why is he here for some rookie hunters? They spoke, a sense of seriousness hanging in the air. Does that? He sat, eyes wide, contemplating the information. A lot about? He grinned, his eyes gleaming red, a plan forming in his mind. This is my chance. If I can get on his good side, I can join the KHA or a really good guild. The two men sat, a sense of slyness and confidence radiating from them. Grin, I'm the greatest one here. Kiki. He looked down, giving instructions to the other hunters. He stood, his sinister smile a hint of his true nature, contemplating the information. He reassured them, you don't need to be nervous, his calm demeanor setting a reassuring tone. He posed a question, do you know how hunters are born? He raised his hand, don't we have to be chosen by transcendent beings called sponsors? He smiled, tisk, I knew that too, a sense of excitement and anticipation in the air. He spoke, that's right, a hunter's characteristics are fixed at the point of their awakening, but he added, but hunters can still get stronger, his words hinting at a deeper understanding. He stood, his confidence evident in his stern expression, a seasoned hunter with a past. She explained, a smug smile on her face, if you close gates, or play a big role, enough for your sponsor to keep an eye on you, jump, she added, her confidence unwavering. He was stunned by her quickness. Whoa, so quick, she explained, you can gain advanced items or skills. He clapped, excellent, his smile and posture radiating confidence. He clapped, a sense of excitement and determination in his movements. He looked down, his sunglasses hiding his eyes. Looks like you all came prepared, he said, then let me ask a more difficult question. He stood, a figure of authority, his presence commanding silence. He pondered, his thoughts filled with curiosity, just as I expected. All the hunters are curious about this, yet no one can answer for sure. He looked on, a sense of confusion and intrigue evident in his expression. He pondered the mystery of the sponsors, their motives and selection process shrouded in secrecy. He was lost in thought, a sense of confusion washing over him. He contemplated his next move, get noticed, a sense of ambition driving him. His eyes widened in surprise, a sense of shock washing over him. He thought to himself, there's no pressure. It's not like there's a correct answer. He smiled, a hint of mystery in his expression, I just want. He sat, lost in thought, isn't it for fun? His question a puzzle. A group of shrouded figures sat, their faces hidden, a sense of shock and confusion rippling through the room. He looked on, suspicion clouding his expression. What do you mean by that? His question hung in the air. He smirked. Fun? You choose a character, hunt monsters. Then enjoy that character getting stronger, his words laced with amusement. He looked on, a sense of confusion and worry filling him. He was lost in thought, a sense of confusion evident in his expression. His thoughts racing. He looked down, a sense of shock and surprise evident. The Demon King guessed that the sponsors thought of our world like a game. The mystery deepened, but he died with all the power he had. Maybe that's the sponsors' biggest secrets. He walked, his sword held firm, a sense of power and determination radiating from him. He smiled, a sense of smugness in his expression. You chose a sword. Good choice. He looked down, his expression serious and determined. Yes, I am. He stood, his sword held in a defensive position, a sense of anticipation in the air. The goblin, its red eyes gleaming, stared with a sinister expression. He spoke calmly, his words laced with a sense of authority. You don't necessarily have to kill it. I'll be the judge of your test. She looked on, her blue eyes unwavering, a sense of seriousness and determination evident. He reassured them, you don't have to worry too much, it's been brainwashed so it can't kill or critically wound humans. He stood, confident and ready, remote in hand, press, a sense of anticipation in the air. A figure was caught off guard, a sense of surprise and action in the air, smoosh. The goblin dashed forward, a blur of green against the plain background. He yelled, "Hia!" A surge of energy radiating from him. A blue and white blur streaked across the scene, a powerful movement in motion. He swung his sword with power and precision, slash. A surge of energy erupted, whoosh, a sense of speed and movement filling the air. The enraged monster snarled, its sharp teeth bared, ready for battle. He screamed in terror, a flash of light illuminating the scene. The monster attacked, a blur of motion as it struck the man. The battle raged, chaos and destruction swirling around them, war echoing through the air. He crouched, his sword held at the ready. Tap, SWO, a sense of tension building as the battle raged. The monster charged, its red eyes gleaming, a blur of green against the brown and white backdrop. He watched with concern. That looks dangerous, his worry evident in his expression. The man unleashed a powerful blow, a blue beam of energy pushing the monster back. He swung his sword with force, slash, his determination evident. A dark and eerie setting, filled with a sense of mystery and foreboding. He lay on the ground, exhausted and gasping for breath, his defeat evident. He lay, his body battered, a sense of defeat and hopelessness permeating the scene. He stood, confident and powerful, his sunglasses hiding his eyes. He looked on, a sense of pride and admiration in his gaze. You managed to kill the goblin in that situation. Amazing. He stood, his approval evident. You pass. Good work. He stood, a sense of anticipation in the air. Guess it's time for the final applicant, as the other man walked away, sword in hand. A powerful force surged forward, a swoosh echoing through the room. He stepped forward, his spear and shield held at the ready, a sense of determination evident in his stance. He stood, his eyes locked on the viewer, a warrior ready for battle. He moved forward, spear in hand, a sense of urgency driving him. If the other hunters get it first, our profits would dwindle. He looked on, a sense of mystery and intrigue evident in his expression, a spear and a shield. He contemplated his situation. That's a peculiar combination. I have to pass this test if I want to participate in the graduation course tomorrow. He stood, his eyes focused, a sense of determination radiating from him. He announced, a confident smile on his face, I'll begin the last test. He pondered the situation, a sense of disappointment and urgency evident. Unfortunately, all the goblins have been killed, so we'll have to conduct this test with a different monster. He pondered the change in plans. We'll change the rules since the monster changed. He stood, his eyes focused, a sense of determination in his gaze. The creature, surrounded by flames, stared with a fierce expression, radiating danger. He looked on, a sense of anticipation and tension building. Are you ready? He looked down, a sense of confusion washing over him. I'm sure it's a kobold or something like a goblin. He stood, his confidence evident. I'm ready. Good. Let's begin. He stood ready, a sense of determination in his stance. The challenge was announced, a sense of anticipation building. Junkying Lee, the monster you'll be facing. The goblin emerged, its red eyes glowing, a sense of fear and danger radiating from it. The orc's hand, a sign of its immense power, is an orc, a sense of danger and mystery in the air. The orc's stats were revealed, a testament to its strength. It takes a C-rank hunter to fight an orc inside a gate. He looked down, a sense of confusion washing over him. I'm sure it's a kobold or something like a goblin. He stood, a sense of determination in his eyes, a warrior ready for the challenge. He smiled, confident and ready. Good. Let's begin. He pressed the device with intense focus. I was impressed, his commitment evident. The challenge was announced, a sense of warning hanging in the air. The monster, its wide mouth bared, its red eyes gleaming, radiated a sense of fear and intimidation. The orc's hand, reaching out, is an orc, a powerful and dangerous creature. He looked on in shock, his eyes wide with disbelief. Their expressions reflected concern and anxiety, a sense of panic in the air. He stood, his scars a reminder of past battles, a sense of confusion evident in his gaze. He considered the information, a sense of respect in his gaze. Junkying is also a C-rank hunter who slayed a goblin chieftain in a D-rank dungeon by himself. He smiled, a sense of pride evident in his expression. a newbie hunter who achieved such a feat. We need someone like him in the KHA. He stood, spear and shield at the ready. Show me what you've got, a challenge laid before him. A warning echoed. The sky of apocalypse is keeping his eyes on you, a sense of foreboding filling the air. He stood, a blue aura surrounding him, his shield held firm, ready to face the challenge. The creature leapt, its sharp teeth bared, a menacing figure poised for attack. He clenched his fist, his grip firm, a surge of power radiating from the glowing rod. A blur of blue energy erupted, a sense of speed and motion engulfing the scene. A blue beam of light pierced the creature, stab, a sense of violence and pain evident in its expression. The monster, a blur of green, crar. A warning echoed. The monsters always leap without thinking first. He stood, his arm glowing blue, ready to strike. The monster, its body racked with pain. This should be easy, a sense of victory in the air. He looked on in surprise. What? I can't pull out. Grab, he thought, a sense of frustration evident. He swung his spear, a powerful movement, a sense of momentum and excitement in the air. The ogre roared, crar, its ferocious expression radiating danger. The two fists collided, boom, a powerful clash of energy. The explosion erupted, boom, a surge of red energy filling the scene. He looked on, his eyes wide with excitement, boom, as the action unfolded around him. He moved with incredible speed, a blur of motion leaving a trail of red and black energy. He looked on in disbelief, his eyes wide with astonishment. Isn't that dangerous? I knew fighting that orc was impossible for him. He watched intently, his expression serious. That was a very clean thrust. The judge should step in already. It would have killed his opponent if it were human. He noted, but he's fighting a monster right now. He let his guard down. The unicorn was caught in a powerful explosion, boom, a forceful blast of energy. He watched, his anger building. Is that it for him? I can't let it go on, he thought, his determination growing. He reached out, a blue glow surrounding his hand, toss, a sense of power and excitement evident. He glared, a surge of anger coursing through him. He swung his weapon, whoosh, as the orc charged forward. The scene was filled with action and excitement. A powerful force collided, thwack, a violent clash of energy. He flew, a blue glow surrounding him, a blur of motion against the gray backdrop. The orc stood, ready for battle, its red glow a sign of its power and aggression. He moved with speed, whoomph, shield raised, facing the charging orc. A golden object blazed with power, blaze, a sense of intensity radiating from it. He stood, a golden shield behind him, confidence and power evident in his smile. His hand reached out, a sense of helplessness and sadness in the dreamlike setting. The battle raged, a powerful kick sending the man flying through the air. He was propelled upwards, a blur of motion, a sense of excitement and action in the air. They watched with excitement and anticipation. What was that? They looked on in amazement. He let go of his spear on purpose to break the orc's balance, a sense of surprise in their expressions. A wave of disbelief washed over them. He killed an orc in the tutorial. Is that a skill? A hunter that just awakened has a skill already? He stood, his gaze fixed, a sense of determination in his expression. The shield shattered, durability became zero, a sense of disappointment in the air. He gripped the object, his strength evident in his grip, a sense of determination fueling his actions. He stood, spear in hand, fire domination LV2, ready to unleash his power. He smiled, a sense of cunning evident in his eyes. If the other hunters get it first, our profits would dwindle. He stood, his expression determined, ready to act. He pondered his situation, his concern evident in his posture. My equipment can't stand the heat. He stood, his eyes filled with determination, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Flames erupted from his hand. Fire domination was an amazing power, a sense of awe in the air. The power of the Demon King was revealed. Fire domination a crucial element, combined with the player characteristic. The power of fire was showcased. Fire domination LV2. This ability isn't a skill, it's a sense of awe and intrigue. He contemplated this new power, and as a player, I can level up my own powers, his thoughts filled with possibility. He pondered, a thoughtful expression on his face, but since his fist clenched, I'll need something made of metal for this, a sense of determination in his grip. The city, bathed in the warm glow of sunset, exuded a sense of peace and tranquility. A quiet cityscape, its buildings standing tall and serene. 3 men, their smiles radiating camaraderie and good humor, stood together, a sense of friendship evident. He looked thoughtful, a slight frown on his face. I'm not sure if I should be here, a hint of uncertainty in his gaze. He smiled, a sense of confidence and amusement radiating from him. They sat around the table, engaged in a thoughtful conversation. He smiled, his excitement evident. Tomorrow's your final test, right? He posed a question, his eyes filled with hope. Have you thought about my offer? The other man looked startled, a sense of anticipation and suspense filling the air. He looked on, his face tense, a sense of urgency driving him. I get a strong feeling that I can't afford to lose you. He looked around, his eyes wide with concern. This is making me nervous too. An offer from the lead guild. An offer from the lead guild, said to be the most prominent guild in Korea. A great opportunity for junking. This is a great opportunity for junking. He stood, his expression thoughtful, pondering the situation. He looked on, a serious expression on his face, his thoughts filled with contemplation. Above the text. He gulped, his eyes closed, a sense of nervousness washing over him. He stood, lost in thought, contemplating his decision. He stood, his expression resolute. I'll have to turn you down, his decision made. He was shocked, his eyes wide with surprise. He pondered, a thoughtful expression on his face, his mind racing. He stood, lost in thought, his serious expression a sign of contemplation. He nodded, his expression serious. He's right. He stood, his determination evident. I came up with a plan that utilizes all the events that happened around this time, after I came to the past. He paused, a sense of caution in his voice. I can't be too close to Sunku yet. He looked determined. I'm sorry. I don't plan on being affiliated with anyone, his words firm. Right now, he added, but I'll help you whenever you need my help, a sense of generosity in his tone. He stood, his expression serious, his focus unwavering. He looked on, his expression concerned. He smiled slyly. PFFT, I'll remember that. The 2 men smiled, their happiness evident, cross as the woman looked on in shock. She looked on in disbelief. A rookie hunter is going to help an A-rank hunter, the strongest hunter in Korea? He pondered, his brow furrowed, and the A-rank hunter took that seriously. The city, bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun, radiated a sense of peace and serenity. This comic, webtoon is protected under copyright law. Any unauthorized use is prohibited. He stood, his expression resolute, but I'll help you whenever you need my help. He looked down, his expression serious, a sense of gratitude evident. I do owe you big. He smiled confidently, a sense of pride evident in his expression. He stood, determined and ready for whatever lay ahead. PFFT, I'll remember that. The 3 stood, a sense of anticipation in the air, cross, as the girl looked on with concern. The 2 laughed, ha ha ha, a sense of joy and camaraderie filling the air. He looked confused. Drip, I really don't understand hunters at all, a sense of bewilderment evident. The title, My Life as a Player, promised an exciting and adventurous journey. The city skyline, a peaceful and serene setting. The group stood, a sense of tension in the air. Explanation. As the man with black hair took center stage. He stood, his arms outstretched, a calm and serene posture. Before we begin, he said. He smiled. Your final test will be conducted within a gate. He looked concerned, to worry, a sense of tension evident in his posture. Clench. He smiled reassuringly, because I'll be going in there with you. He stood, his fist clenched, a surge of energy radiating from him, a sense of power filling the air. The 3 men looked on, a sense of anxiety and uncertainty evident in their expressions. He looked on, his face filled with worry and concern. He smiled, a sense of confidence radiating from him. We'll leave right after you get your supplies, he said, a sense of casualness in his tone. A powerful energy crackled, a bright white light illuminating the scene. A surge of energy, a sense of movement and power filling the air. He stood, calm and in control, his staff glowing blue, a sense of power radiating from him. He pondered the situation, a thoughtful expression on his face, his mind racing. He looked around, a sense of unease filling the air. Something feels sticky, doesn't it? He stood, a mischievous glint in his eye. Ready to begin, let's start. The two men walked through the cavern, a sense of suspense in the air, their expressions serious. One man waved, FWIP, a sense of action filling the cavern. The goblins, their red eyes gleaming, glance, their presence menacing. The goblin grinned, Keru, a sense of evil and aggression radiating from it. He looked on, a sense of fear and urgency washing over him. They're coming. They stood, ready for the challenge. Yes, sir. A sense of confidence radiating from them. He swung his sword with power and force. Haya. Clang, a powerful attack. The goblin charged, slash, a sense of danger and excitement filling the air. He shouted, Ka, his power surging as a blue aura enveloped him. He stood, his gaze focused. Next, number 8 and 16. His voice filled with authority. The chase unfolded, dash, a sense of urgency and action filling the air. He swung his sword, slash, a powerful attack. The goblin moved with incredible speed, a blur of green. He grinned, his excitement evident. Junkying Li. The two men clashed, dash, a blue energy surge connecting them, a sense of action and suspense. He looked on, surprise evident in his expression. He's fast. He swung his sword with powerful force, a blue glow emanating from the blade. A blue sphere streaked through the air, swoosh, a sense of speed and energy. He was propelled forward, sword and shield glowing blue, stab, a sense of action and power filling the air. He swung his shield, a blue glow emanating from it, a sense of power and speed filling the scene. The creature was struck, slash, a blue energy beam knocking it back. Two blue energy beams clashed, a powerful collision of energy. A powerful energy field erupted, stop, a force to be reckoned with. He stood, a blue glow surrounding him, his arm raised, swoosh, a powerful energy blade ready to strike. The blade struck with force, slash, a sense of power and impact. The creature crashed to the ground, thud, a sense of power and violence in the air. They gasped, their expressions filled with shock and disbelief. They stood, their shock and confusion evident. Are you sure he just became a hunter? Why is he even getting a tutorial? They looked on, a sense of concern washing over them. Darn it. I hope not all hunters are like that. He stood, his eyes wide with surprise. He's great with his weapon. He's almost on par with me, a B rank. He looked down, his sunglasses hiding his eyes, a sense of mystery surrounding him. He looked down in surprise. You've leveled up, a sense of excitement and power in the air. He stood, confident and powerful, a blue aura surrounding him. The weapon, glowing blue, held in a defensive stance, ready for action. They stepped forward, their weapons at the ready, a sense of anticipation filling the air. The energy swirled, a powerful force, a sense of action and excitement in the air. He looked on, his expression determined. We'll meet the boss soon, a sense of preparation and anticipation in the air. He gave orders. We'll recuperate here. Don't spare any potions, and check your weapons and equipment. He relaxed, enjoying his drink, as his companion stood watch. He pondered the information. The Demon King had the powers of a player, a sense of curiosity and intrigue filling him. He stood, weapon at the ready, a determined expression on his face, a sense of strength and courage in the air. He looked on, his eyes focused, a sense of intensity radiating from him. He held the flame, swish, a sense of power and magic filling the air. So I'm going to. He stood, his eyes gleaming red, ready to face the challenge, utilize everything I know and get stronger. He stood, surrounded by flames, his determination unwavering, ready to conquer. His hand clenched, blaze, a fiery power ready to be unleashed. He stood, sword at the ready, his expression determined, twish, a sense of focus and readiness in the air. He looked on, his expression serious, giving orders. We'll start moving again. Please follow me, everyone. He moved with speed, a blur of color and motion, swash. A magical attack surged through the air, swash, a powerful force unleashed. A sense of action and movement filled the scene, a magical attack unleashed, swash. He walked, his expression determined, a sense of urgency driving him forward. His face, distorted and glitching, a sense of menace and danger radiating from him. They looked on, a sense of fear and confusion evident, thump, their forms flickering. He looked on, shocked and confused. What's with this ridiculous amount of mana? He stood, his expression shocked and disbelieving. A sense of urgency filled the air. Everyone, retreat. He shouted, his expression determined, sprint to the gate right now. A sense of danger in the air. A sense of mystery and intrigue hung in the air as the figure lay hidden. A blur of colors, a sense of speed and action, filled the scene. The ground trembled, rumble, a powerful force unleashed. A blur of motion, swoosh, speed and energy filling the air. The blur continued, a sense of movement and speed in the darkness. A bright and intense glow, a sense of power emanating from it. An orange glow surged forward, shoo, a sense of speed and motion. A powerful explosion erupted, a bright yellow and orange flash against the dark background. He moved, his expression serious, a sense of urgency in his movements. He reached out, a sense of urgency and danger in the air. He yelled, his expression determined, a sense of intensity and speed filling the scene. A white explosion erupted, a powerful and dynamic force. He stood, his expression intense and focused. Damn it, he reached out, a sense of frustration and anger filling the air. He skidded to a halt, skid, a sense of motion and speed evident. The sky, a canvas of blue and white, radiated a sense of ethereal beauty. The skull, glowing blue, its fangs bared, a sense of dread filling the air. A menacing glow, viper fangs, a sense of danger and power emanating from it. He stood, his eyes closed, a blue glow surrounding him, ready for action. A powerful impact, thump, a flash of light. A blinding explosion, yellow and blue energy surging, a sense of power and heat. He moved swiftly, a blur of blue energy, dodging a powerful attack. The explosion erupted, kaboom, a fiery blast of energy. The explosion continued, a sense of heat, power, and destruction filling the scene. He thought, a sense of urgency and tension, I need to dodge. He stared intently, but a sense of determination in his eyes. A moment of frustration, damn it, echoed through the scene. He slid, skid, a sense of intensity and drama in the air. The blue energy swirled, a magical and mystical force. The creature's mouth, glowing blue and filled with fangs, radiated a sense of danger and intimidation. He stood, a blue glow surrounding him, his smile confident, fangs, a sense of power and excitement in the air. He stood, a sense of intensity and power emanating from him. A powerful surge of energy erupted, a bright orange and purple glow, a sense of power and intensity. A powerful surge of energy, thoughts, filled the scene with a sense of intensity. He flew towards the light, a burst of yellow and orange energy propelling him forward. A fiery explosion, kaboom, a sense of heat and energy radiating from it. The explosion, a blinding flash of light and energy. He ran, his blue sword guiding his way, a sense of urgency and determination in his stride. He looked on, a sense of awe and amazement in his eyes. What a strong attack. He worried, I couldn't counter it completely even with my viper fangs. His concern for the rookies evident. What about the rookies? He turned, a sense of urgency in his expression, his eyes searching the misty terrain. He stood, his sword held high, a sense of danger and uncertainty surrounding him. He stood, his spear held firm, a sense of anticipation and tension in the air, as the other hunters gathered around him. He stood, shield raised, vroom, a sense of power and determination radiating from him. He ran, a blur of motion, his spear held tight. He looked on, his expression serious. If the other hunters get it first, our profits would dwindle, a sense of determination in his gaze. He thought, a sense of calm surrounding him. It was nothing, his blue eyes filled with a quiet strength. He stood, a blue glow surrounding him, a sense of power and readiness. A message appeared, the sky of apocalypse gives you a quest. He was stunned, his eyes wide with surprise. The quest was revealed, slay the goblin archmage. He sat, his expression serious, a powerful presence filling the room. He was shocked, this is a low-rank dungeon? They've got to be wrong. That's a goblin archmage. I heard it's as powerful as a B-rank hunter. He gasped. They stood, their faces filled with shock and disbelief, a sense of surprise washing over them. He looked on, a sense of concern evident. He's not an easy opponent for me either. Phew, he sighed. A sense of urgency filled the air as he clenched his fist. Please evacuate the dungeon and contact the KHA please. A plea echoing through his thoughts. The two men stood, a sense of tension in the air, Goblin myself, the man with the eye patch declared. They stood, their expressions filled with fear and anxiety, as danger loomed. He looked on, his authority evident in his stern expression. Don't be arrogant. He stood, his blue aura glowing, a sense of suspense and anticipation. I know you've slayed multiple goblins and an orc, he said. The details of the goblin archmage were revealed, but the goblin archmage uses magic instead of a physical attack. That monster uses skills equivalent to a B-rank hunter's. A sense of excitement in the air. The information was presented, goblin archmage. Flame-type monster recommended for B-rank hunters. He stood, his eyes burning with intensity, a sense of power and determination radiating from him. He stood, a sense of determination in his eyes. I know how strong it is, and I know how to battle it. Aren't all monsters in the tutorial for? He stood, his blue aura glowing, a sense of determination in his expression. The two stood, a sense of tension in the air. We'll get it before the others, a sense of competition and urgency. He looked on, a sense of confusion washing over him. Why is he so confident? He stood, his eyes fixed on the task ahead, a sense of anticipation filling the air. The mission began. Mission start. A sense of excitement bubbling to the surface. He stood, his spear and shield at the ready, a blue aura surrounding him, radiating power. A powerful surge of energy erupted. Room, a sense of power and force. He stood, a fiery aura surrounding him, a dangerous presence in the darkness. A surge of energy, a vibrant display of color and power. A sense of warmth and tranquility emanated from the scene. The fiery glow, filled with a sense of warmth and energy, radiated outwards. He swung his staff, poof, a burst of orange and yellow energy filling the air, a sense of power and excitement. He looked on in disbelief. No way. His astonishment evident. He stood, his eyes wide with shock. He cancelled the fireballs. A sense of amazement washing over him. He gasped. He didn't just cancel them, he absorbed them. A sense of disbelief washing over him. He looked on, his mouth agape. How is that possible? A sense of disbelief and shock. A powerful and swirling energy, a sense of excitement and energy filling the air. He swung his weapon, a burst of orange and yellow energy propelling him forward. The energy swirled, a powerful and exciting display of force. He stood, his staff and shield at the ready, a purple aura surrounding him, a sense of power and excitement in the air. He unleashed a powerful spell, a circle of blue and white energy swirling around him. He cast his spell. Boom, a bright aqua blue energy erupting from his hand. The explosion erupted. Crackle, a wave of yellow and orange energy radiating outwards. He stood, a red aura surrounding him, a sense of anticipation and suspense filling the air. A powerful surge of energy, blaze, a sense of heat and energy. He stood, his spear and shield at the ready, a sense of determination in his eyes. He looked on in alarm. No. He can't even get near the goblin now. A sense of surprise and worry evident. They watched with apprehension. He'll get wiped out from a distance, a sense of fear and uncertainty in the air. He stood, ready to fight, raise, his shield glowing red and orange, a sense of power and determination filling the air. A figure emerged, his glowing spear a beacon in the darkness, a sense of mystery and suspense filling the air. The goblin grinned, its red eyes gleaming, a sense of menace radiating from it. Disperse, he commanded, his eyes ablaze with power, ready to unleash his abilities. He stood, his arm engulfed in flames, shield at the ready, a sense of power radiating from him. He stood, his staff held high, a powerful aura surrounding him, ready to unleash his might. A swirling vortex of orange energy, swirl, a sense of power and energy. Whoosh, he moved with speed and power, a golden aura surrounding him. A wave of flames erupted, a sense of power and danger filling the air, as a man watched in horror. He sat, calm and focused, a sense of serenity radiating from him. He looked on in shock, his eyes wide with disbelief. He swung his weapon, a powerful presence in the brightly lit room. You're a menace, he warned, just try not to get in my way. He stood, a confident grin on his face, leap, ready to strike. He swings the stick, calling out, you're a menace and just try not to get in my way. He stood, shield raised, a determined expression on his face, a sense of power radiating from him. He stood, a sense of pain evident in his posture. He stood, his red eyes gleaming, a sense of power and danger radiating from him. He stood, his expression fierce, a sense of aggression and power filling the air. He stood, his eyes fixed on the task ahead, a sense of determination and focus radiating from him. A weapon, its red blade gleaming, moved with a deadly force. He stood, a sense of power and excitement radiating from him. He moved with speed and determination, his red eyes burning with intensity. Stab, 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 a sense of violence and danger filled the air. He stood, his arms outstretched, a sense of danger and excitement in the air, stab as the attack came. He stood, shield raised, his resolve evident in his stance, a sense of power radiating from him. He stood, his hair glowing purple, a sense of confusion and chaos surrounding him. He stood, his orange sword glowing, a sense of power and strength radiating from him. He looked on in disbelief. The rookie actually did it? Do it? Murmur, a sense of shock and amazement filling the air. A super rookie. They looked on in shock and surprise, their mouths agape. Murmur. A sense of disbelief filled the air. He's a super rookie. The mission was complete, mission clear. A sense of success and victory. He stood, his eyes focused, a sense of power radiating from him. Fu. He stood, his sword and shield at the ready, a blue aura surrounding him. A reward was offered. The Sky of Apocalypse gives you a gift for successfully completing your mission, a sense of excitement and anticipation building. He looked up, his hair glowing blue, a sense of shock and awe on his face. He stood, his head tilted upwards, his body radiating a blue glow, a sense of anticipation building. He gained a new ability. You can now summon a familiar, a sense of excitement and empowerment filling the air. He smiled, his eyes filled with joy. I finally got it. He grinned, a sense of excitement in his expression. He pondered the Demon King's power, a sense of awe filling him, another skill that made the Demon King so strong. The city lights twinkled, a bustling metropolis, full of life and energy. The two men stood, their expressions serious. President, a sense of tension filling the air. He stood, his confidence evident. Yes, I suppose you wanted to see me regarding the last tutorial batch, his gaze unwavering. He stood, a smug smile on his face. Is it the C-rank hunter? A sense of arrogance evident in his posture. He smiled, his eyes narrowed, a sense of mystery and intrigue surrounding him. He looked on, his expression stoic. A sense of suspicion filling the air. He looked on, a sense of awe and wonder filling him. He's even stronger than Chiwu. He rested his hand on the surface. Since you're the one talking. Tap, a sense of anticipation in the air. He smiled slyly, his eyes narrowed, a sense of intrigue and excitement evident in his expression. He looked up, a sense of anticipation in his eyes. How far do you think? He stood, a blue glow surrounding him, his expression serious, a sense of power radiating from him. He might be. A sense of mystery hung in the air. He stood, his expression thoughtful, his mind racing. Hope to help you achieve your goal, sir, a sense of hope and optimism. He smirked. I see, a sense of confidence and knowledge in his eyes. He stood, his gaze fixed on the city below, a sense of authority in his posture. I'd like to meet him soon.